Welcome in, everybody. I'm Devin O'Day. This Main Street Today time. Today is pretty significant to me because it's the birthday of a very special friend, and it is also American Heart Month. And before we get into any interviews, I want to ask you, have you checked your heart lately? Maybe you haven't done a heart check because you don't have health insurance. Maybe you're scared of even applying for health insurance. The last time maybe you went to check out your health insurance, you got a ton of phone calls from a lot of different people. Well, let's check out my friend Health Insurance Harvey. He took all that guesswork out of health insurance for me. If you find yourself in need of health insurance, one Google search and a questionnaire could start your phone ringing and those emails and those texts coming from companies all over. And it can be really confusing. And sometimes you get caught up in buying something only to find that it covers very little of what you actually need. And sometimes it can be too late to do anything about it. After the fact, like when you need your insurance. That's why one click to my friend, my insurance guy, Health Insurance Harvey, can keep that from happening. HarveyDurham.com. Chat with him, set up a virtual appointment anywhere in the country practically. He's licensed in 40 states. He'll look at your needs, your budget, and share every single thing that his insurance is going to cover and what it won't. You don't pay for what you don't need. If he can't save you money or can't give you better coverage, he won't sign you. You are under no obligation. So do yourself a favor. Get a free comparison quote from Health Insurance Harvey. It just might work for you like it did me. I'm not his commercial announcer. I'm his client at HarveyDurham.com. I am happy because I got all those phone calls started coming to me, and I couldn't get anybody to send me a copy of what I was buying. They wouldn't show me the policy. And as it turned out, one of the companies Harvey was familiar with, and he put it up on a screen for me virtually. He said, okay, here's what their plan doesn't cover. And it was like, they didn't cover anything major medical. They didn't cover my office visits. They didn't cover anything. And I'm going, well, why would I pay for that? And he said, well, you shouldn't. If you want health insurance, at least know what you're getting. So that's the cool thing. And it's free. So give him a no obligation call if you're interested or you need health insurance. Well, my friend Mackie Kaler is having a birthday today. And if you're familiar with our podcast, you might remember this Memphis native had a health defect, a heart defect, and he didn't even realize it. And his life has been saved not once, but twice. And a lot of miracles when it comes to Mackie Kaler. And this week, he's going to be performing down in Columbia, Tennessee at Van Dy's Speak Easy Lounge in downtown Columbia. You can reserve your seats. It's a free show, original smooth Southern soul, and he is fantastic. And I just love him. And you're going to absolutely love him at MackieKaler.com. But I thought we'd go to my friends over at Larry's Country Diner. Larry Black has been a longtime friend of mine. Got a great show, Larry's Country Diner, that is on RFD. Just a fantastic group of people. And so I'd love to share this performance by Mackie on Larry's Country Diner, and just to give you just kind of an idea of what this Memphis guy can do.
Hey guys, thanks for stopping by, and don't forget to subscribe, like, and ring that bell.
Wise men say only fools rush in, but I can't help falling in love with you. Shall I stay? Would it be a sin if I can't help falling in love with you? Like a river flows surely to the sea, darling, so it goes. Some things meant to be. Take my hand, take my whole life too, for I can't help falling in love with you. Big tag. For I can't help falling in love with you.
Thanks for stopping by. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and ring the bell.
Another one of my favorite people, the announcer for Larry's Country Diner and for the Huckabee Show, is my friend Keith Bilbrey. Dear to me, and I hope that you'll follow that show. And I hope that on the 12th, you will go down to Columbia to Van Dy's Speakeasy Lounge and go to the show that features Mackie Kaler and the Swanky South. Happy birthday, Mackie, and we're glad to have you with that heart beating, that beautiful heart. And if you have not had a heart checkup this year, this is a perfect month to remember. That's why a lot of women wear red during the month of February, not just for Valentine's Day, but for our very hearts. Well, I love this next story. We're going to Murfreesboro. We have the Murfreesboro Post, which is a newspaper there. Our friend Amanda Hunt is the sales representative for that area. And she introduced me to this group of people, an incredible idea for a gift for Valentine's Day, and that's our friends at Sweet Addiction. Selah 3 Industries in Murfreesboro, Tennessee is helping people, not only everyone with sweet addiction. The Sweet Addiction is a great company making wonderful cupcakes we'll find out about, but also other products. Robin, tell me about your passion for this whole cause and where Sweet Addiction came from. What is it?
Sweet Addiction is a program that works specifically with women who have been previously caught in sex trafficking or addiction, who have gone to jail, who have backgrounds that prohibit them from being employed by anyone else. So we bring them in and employ them. But in addition to that, we teach them job readiness. We take them from square one when they come out, and they've lost their confidence. A lot of them, they're directly from jail. They've had very regimented schedules. They don't know how to think on their own anymore. They don't even know who they are anymore. So the whole point is to bring them into something, and baking, what is more lovely than baking together, because it's very relaxing. It opens up the communication between people. So we bring them in, give them a skill, use the skills they have, and build confidence. Additionally, we're working in programs where we teach them financial responsibility. But the main thing is empowering the women to believe in themselves again, so they can be a valuable part of society, and instead of just surviving like they did in addiction or when they come out, they can thrive.
Judy, tell me a little bit about Sweet Addictions. What is it? We're talking Christmas on Main Street, and anybody who takes a look at these amazing treats is going to want them for their very own. Tell me about Sweet Addictions.
Well, the Sweet Addiction is, the premise for these cupcakes is a little bit different. It's not a cake style, it's more of a pie flavor. And what is your favorite pie, and how can we create that, and you can enjoy a cupcake with a different kind of twist. What sets the Sweet Addiction apart is that we get to create the recipes ourselves. We kind of talk and pitch ideas on different flavors and different styles of cupcakes that we want to have and that we would like to taste. And then we go to the kitchen, we get to create that, come up with the recipe on our own, and then we just get to sit together and taste them and see which ones we like best.
Robin, tell me about Sweet Addiction. If someone wanted to have some of these wonderful delicacies, do they pre-order? There's not a storefront?
there isn't a storefront. Although that is a dream, we hope to get to that point. If they want to order, they can go on our website, which is thesweetaddiction.com, or they can contact us by phone. Either one, they can give us a call. We like at least 48 hours notice. What's unique about Sweet Addiction, unlike a typical retail bakery, is all of that goes back to the non-for-profit. So you can come in and order 24 cupcakes. We suggest a donation of $28 per dozen, and we can actually give you a donation letter. So we're just going to say, here's your cupcakes. This is a free gift. You want to give us a donation. It's open to you what you want to give. And at the end of the year, you get a donation letter. So it's a win-win-win. We're keeping the individuals employed. You're getting a donation, and you're getting a sweet treat, and you're investing in something that's worthwhile.
It is just remarkable. And these really are homemade treats. This is not something that's going to be, packaged and you go, wow, this tastes all chemically. It's just real good food. And if you're going to have a party, it's absolutely lovely. But I bet, the suggested donation, if someone wanted to double that or triple that, because this is an amazing group of people.
If they want to double and triple, I'm not going to say no. But that would go back into the program. That allows us to bring more individuals. So the more we sell or give by donation, the more people we can bring in and impact. And that's the whole purpose. Besides, they're extremely good.
I'm just dying. I'm sitting here looking at them. They're just incredible. Judy, how did you get involved with Sweet Addictions?
I was doing another job for Robin, and that particular order had been filled, and so she didn't have any work for me at the time, and she just kind of, texted me out of the blue and said, do you know how to bake? And I said, well, actually I do. So we got together and just sat down, and she told me what she wanted to start, what she was trying to do, and what she was trying to achieve. And so we just kind of got some ideas together and went from there.
Show me some of these, and show me some of the flavors and stuff that you see on this plate right here, like this with a caramel swizzle on the top.
This is an apple pie cupcake. It has this like a cinnamon pastry crust filled with real apples and different spices, cinnamon and whatnot.
Oh, yum.
And topped with caramel.
All right, Judy, I want you to show us, this is an example of a go bag that
Yes.
Selah 3, this organization, Sweet Addictions is part of it, but you've also got masks and you're working on some other patent pending items, but show us this go bag.
This is my prototype. This is a go bag where women in abuse situations can load a couple of things, a couple pairs of clothes and their hygiene items. It is lined with it's called propylene, so it makes it water resistant. And I have used donated fabric to just make it look like an oversized garment bag or a large purse. So it's discreet, it's inconspicuous, and sometimes women in these situations have children, small children. It's something that they can throw on their back and carry their children with them and escape their situations.
Wow, incredible. I want to take a look at video. Now this is actually your gypsy bag right behind that.
Yes.
That was where the prototype came from,
Yes,
because you
this is
carried
where
your
my-
whole life in that bag.
Absolutely.
How beautiful. Now, and this, and all of them, I never thought about, but the zipper, when you put it on your back,
Yes.
faces your back so people can't steal what you have.
Yes, and so, it just protects what little you have, because that's all you have.
And the importance for the propylene and to keep it water resistant is
Yes.
because you're out.
You're outside. You're exposed to the elements. You might be walking from one place to the next. You never know where you're going to be day to day, and what you're going to be faced with. So you have to, consider the elements.
And here at Selah 3, one of the things that I love about this is that these aren't for sale, these are gifts.
These are all donated.
All gifts.
Beautiful. Talked about the sweet treats. We've talked about go bags. Look at this hand sanitizer lotion. Jenny, tell us the significance of having lotion.
Well, it won't dry your hands out. You can sanitize, and it's good for kids when you're out. It's good for women that are on the go constantly. It's good to have.
And I've heard it smells pretty awesome too.
Yes, ma'am. We can also add scents to each one of them if you wanted to make like a peppermint or an orange or a lime or something like that.
Oh, lovely. And are they unscented when they first come to you?
Yes, ma'am.
And so you get to add the scent. So if
Yes,
you're
ma'am.
sensitive to it, that's one way, but you can add the scents later. Okay,
Yes,
now
ma'am.
I gotcha. I love it because if anybody's used hand sanitizer and if you're in any kind of situation where you got to use it a lot,
Right.
if you're out in public, the beautiful part of this is that it's in a lotion form so it doesn't dry your hands out.
Yes, ma'am.
And it's FDA approved, and it lasts 4 times longer than the leading brands.
This company really is a baby company. How long have you been in business?
We have been in business 6 months.
6 months, not 6 years.
6 months.
6 months. And I always think how brave to start a company at all, but to start one in the middle of a pandemic is huge.
Yeah, it is. But when God tells you to move forward, you move forward, and He supplies the needs. So, I will say about the sweet addiction and Selah 3, and then ladies will tell you and Judy will tell you, it isn't about money with us. I could care less if I make a dime. If we can get these people to a livable wage, work the program, get them where they can actually live and not be tempted to go back on the street, retain some value that they've lost, and get them where they need to be, then if we make nothing, it's all worth it.
The Sweet Addiction is an amazing company. It's under the umbrella of the nonprofit Selah 3 Industries. Just do a quick Google. They're in Murfreesboro. They do not have a storefront. You can make orders. They make face masks. There are schools that are actually contracting them to make face masks that are particular to their schools, to their organizations. They can use your help. They can use your participation. But honestly, how tough is it to buy some of those? It's a hybrid cupcake and a pie all in one. They're a little bit tiny. They're not covered with frosting. If you're that kind of cupcake fan, it's different. It's more like a pie, and they have a lemon it's like almost like a lemon meringue that is so good. So if you're looking for something for your sweet treat, we met them. They had just started really their first Christmas season. We met them, and they have just expanded since then. And they're really getting a foothold. And it's because people want to be part of something bigger than themselves. And they're helping women every day get out of some really bad situations. There's a lot of hope out there. And if you're like me and you have some hopeless gutters, well, you just haven't met Jameson Siebert yet, because he is our friend over at Monster Services, and he demonstrates the strength of his gutters in the most unusual way.
The biggest thing about that system, about our system, and it's called Valor, is when we put it to the fascia and we put it to the gutter and we re-bracket your gutters, it keeps the gutter in the correct position all the time. Okay, so what happens is it's kept in the correct position, but it also makes it strong, real strong.
Gotcha.
So this gutter right here, I've got 4 brackets in it, and even up in here, that's just, I set a 2x4 on top of this 4-foot area. Actually, I have 3 brackets on this one, and the chains are just going right to this right here. There's no screws going into the gutter or anything like that from the back. These are just normal brackets, and I always invite people to come up and look at it, because a lot of guys tell me there's no way it'll do that. Yes, it will. And I want you to watch this. You'll come right over here. Come on, there it is. And you can come over here and I want you to get my weight here.
Okay.
Come around. Okay.
All right.
That's 371 pounds, right? And I'll say it's 371 because it's under the 5 on the end. Now, I weigh 375 pounds. How many people can go to their gutters and do this?
Look at this. All the way right there on a gutter. That's unbelievable.
So, and I invite people all the time to come down to the shop, step in it, come investigate it, look at it. It is legit. When
You
we
don't
put
have
these
to
on
weigh
their
yourself,
home-
girls. You don't have to weigh
Yeah,
yourself.
we'll take a scale away. But yeah, I invite anybody to come down. You can actually hang on your gutters once you put the Valor system in. So you know it's going to make your gutter strong. Your gutter's never going to get out of shape. And it's going to continue to keep you off the ladder and keep you out of the hospital and out of the ICU and all those things. You know, I'm a little bit older now. I don't bounce like I used to. and I don't think a lot of us do. But you can put this on your home, and here's the thing about it. You can actually do it for less than what these big companies charge you. So, and right now, we actually have a special on Valor, on 6-inch Valor, that if you will order Valor for your home, and this is unheard of, and I know it is because I came up with it. If you will order a 6-inch Valor for your home, your gutters, I'm going to replace the gutter for free.
Oh, wow.
So you're actually going to get Valor, the best system on the market, and I urge everybody to go YouTube it and look at it. You're going to get the Valor gutter guard, and this part here, this part of the gutter, we're going to give that to you for free. We're going to take yours down, and we're going to haul it away, and we're going to put this up for you. You're going to get brand new gutters and Valor gutter guard for the price of what you would normally pay for Valor.
Wow, that is an unbelievable deal. And the number that you call is very easy. It is 615-509-4375. If you're a local company and you'd like us to tell your story, just reach out to me wherever you're watching this, and I'll connect you with someone. And we call them brand stories around here because really that's what it is. Our friends at Sweet Addiction, we had a comment from one of our viewers, Michelle Henry, says those are cute bags. Those go bags that you saw in the previous story are interesting because you can't buy those. They are given to women who are in crisis situations. They're at domestic violence shelters or whatever. Those go bags are gifts to help women when they're in a transitional place in their life and a place of crisis. So I think that's really, really neat. And they also take donations of materials. I have a lot of friends who are crafters, and it's just kind of crazy. They have all this fabric laying around, and sometimes you go, you know what? I'm never going to use all this fabric. They can use it at Selah 3 Industries for their programs. Donated materials to make the go bags. They take all the time, whether it's zippers or straps or just plain fabric. If they can they'll find a way to use it. Or whether they're making masks, if you have extra fabric laying around and you go, you know what, I can't use it, Selah 3 always can. So reach out to them. It's a really neat story and a really neat place. We love introducing you to people doing good in Middle Tennessee. Well, we've got in our Songs of Love category someone standing by we're about to meet. His name is Jacob Rice, and he comes from that hotbed of country music, Vermont. No, Vermont is one of my favorite places on the planet. It's one of those New England states that is it literally is one of the most beautiful places I've ever seen on the planet. And here's a guy who loves to brag about home because that's where he's from.
Hello.
Jacob, how are you?
Good. How are you doing this morning?
I'm doing
afternoon.
Yeah. You know what? Tell people a little bit about how music and how this beautiful music and this voice that you have. I mean, I likened it when I first saw your videos to, it's kind of like if Josh Groban wanted to sing country music. You have this beautiful instrument. What brought you to music?
Both my parents are lovers of music. My mother grew up in the 70s in Brooklyn, so she was big into like the punk rock and the metal scene and all that. And my dad kind of the same way, always a big James Taylor, Crosby, Stills, Nash fan, all that good stuff. So my parents love the Beatles. They love Simon and Garfunkel, is on my wall here.
That was that album behind you, the best of Simon and Garfunkel. That was pivotal. That made me want to be a songwriter. That very album.
Wow. Really? Yeah. Very cool. So just kind of my parents, like they would just buy instruments and leave them in the house when we were kids and just be like, hey, there's a guitar there if you want to pick it up. Never forced us to do it or anything. It was just kind of like they just love music.
Well, you, Jacob, have this really hybrid sound that really does come from all of those different forms of music. And it's really hit you. Now, if you go and do a little deep dive on YouTube, you will find that Jacob has a really neat song that you put out recently that deals with home. When you did you go home for the pandemic? Did you go home for quarantine?
Yeah. So I assume you're talking about Leave Me Home, which is actually, if I go a little more, My guy, John Denver. He's one of my biggest idols. Absolutely love him.
Of course. Me too. Another pivotal album to make me songwrite. Yes.
So at the beginning of the pandemic, I was living in Los Angeles with my fiance, and I was like, okay, this is like I Am Legend. I need to get out of here. I need to get out of 40 million people. So I took a flight back to Vermont, and I visited Robert Frost's cabin. Now he had a cabin for 40 summers up in Ripton, Vermont, which is about 200 people. No cell phone service, middle of the Green Mountain National Forest. And there's something like almost spiritual about it because we were the only ones there. There was it was like, usually for Middlebury College and all these other places, there's tourists like kind of there taking photos. But because it was the beginning of the pandemic, there was nobody to be seen for miles. So, I just got to sit there against the cabin in the middle of the woods and kind of soak it all in. And at that point, I think I was going through so much emotional turmoil with, everybody did with their lives shutting down and just, no food at the grocery stores in Los Angeles and lines wrapped around the building. And I just went home and wrote the song in 5 minutes of just, if I die, leave me in Vermont. I don't want to go to heaven. I'm safe here. I feel like, there's just a spiritual connection for me with that state. It's always been like that.
I am with you on that. People ask me all the time, well, when you retire, would you like to have a place in Florida? And I go, no, I want to go to New England and I want to be up in Vermont. And Vermont, New Hampshire, the shores of, I love Rhode Island as well. The beaches in Rhode Island, it's like tiny little states, but there's so much beauty concentrated in those areas and not so many people that you go, I can't enjoy this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. And, not only do you have Robert Frost, who wrote, Road Less Traveled in Vermont, and so many other great poems, but you also have the fireside poets from Maine. A lot of, I just think there's something so inspiring about the beauty there and the, I don't know, the small towns, everything about it. It's a little bit different. Yeah.
Well, you're like my spirit child. I'm going to go ahead and adopt you now because my other poster that I had on my wall, 2 roads diverged in a yellow wood, and I took the road less traveled by, and that has made all the difference. That was my literally little girl. Every night I would say my prayers, but I would always look at that poster and recite that because I always wanted to be that person, and you're that person.
No, thank you. Yeah, it's just this kind of connection, and absolutely, I think as an artist, whatever you do, whoever you are out there, if you're an artist, if you're a songwriter, if you're, if you take a difficult path, you take a different direction in life than most do, that poem's always going to resonate.
Absolutely. Tell me a little bit about your love song. It's we're going to play the lyric video for our songs of love. Every view is a vote, every share is a vote. So at the end of February, we will start our tabulations for 28 days after that. So everyone gets a free chance to have at least 28 days to garner votes. But tell me a little bit about If I Told You, where it came from.
So If I Told You is a sneaky song because I wrote it with Pamela Lack and Bobby Crop. And it was actually our first write we ever did together. And it's very misunderstood in a funny way because it's a beautiful love song and people have absolutely latched onto it in a great way. It's done great things for my career so far. But it's also, you talk about Valentine's Day, and it's a song that came from almost a yearning for love from someone. Like if you're looking in, like, if I could tell you these things, this is what I would, whether that person is already married or, all these different things that are real life, issues. And that's what we do as songwriters, as you know. So that's kind of where it all started from. And it kind of blossomed into this beautiful song poem of, if I could tell you how I feel without all the repercussions of whatever that would bring, this is what I would tell you.
Oh, beautiful, beautiful sentiment. Our Songs of Love category, it's very broad because I said we didn't want just one kind of Will You Marry Me love song. It's deeper than that. And it's all different aspects of the subject of love. So this is your contribution to Songs of Love. We're going to play that. But before we do, we want to say goodbye with telling people how they can find you.
Oh, absolutely. You can find me. Instagram is the best place at Jacob_Rice Music. Also on Spotify, you can just look up Jacob Rice. I'm on there, and I'm brand new to TikTok. That has been fun. I feel like I need to buy a book on how to figure that out, but it's been a lot of fun. I've been driving my fiance absolutely crazy with my TikToking.
Well, the TikTok thing, I mean, have you done one at the gas station yet, like everybody else does? I swear to you that
No, I honestly, even all my friends, like, we don't understand what blows up, what doesn't. I made a video of me and Francesca walking down the street with that old disco song, Walking in Rhythm, and almost accrued 8,000 views and 800 likes, and I only had 20 followers. I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. It's the most bizarre platform ever, but it's cool.
It is. And it is a total time bandit if you're trying to get something done, because you just can't not look at it.
Oh my gosh. And just shooting that video over and over and over again of like, oh, we need to, look a little bit more. It's just time consuming and ridiculous and fun, and it's crazy.
Well, thank you.
Jacob_Rice Music there too. If you
TikTok, Instagram, and anywhere you find music, you're going to love Jacob's voice. And I'm going to give you an example here, but we're going to say goodbye to Jacob, and we'll talk to you soon, because I can't wait for your first number one.
Oh, thank you, Devin. I hope so.
Thank you. You take care, darling. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye.
All right, here it is. If I Told You, Jacob Rice.
I got some feelings that you don't know about. Feelings I'm trying to keep down. No matter how I try to lock these thoughts away, they always come right back when I hear your name. If I told you, could I hold you? And would you feel the same? It's unspoken, but I'm hoping that we could light this flame. If I tell you right now what I wanna say, the thoughts that keep me up at night and dreaming in the day, I got some feelings, and they're calling out your name. I got a weakness I didn't want to show, a secret, and I need to let it go. I've been carrying it around deep inside my soul, and it's time I let you know. If my wishes turn to kisses and our lips found their way, we find passion everlasting. I steal your heart away. Can I show you right now what words just can't explain? Pull you in and hold you tight, lost to time and space. I got some feelings, and they're calling out your name. I gotta know if that sparkle in your eyes shines brighter under nothing but moonlight. Lord knows if I try and stop, I fall every time. But I can't fight these feelings of mine. If I I tell you right now what I wanna say, the thoughts that keep me up at night and dreaming in the day. I got some feelings, and those feelings won't change. Hey, 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 I got some feelings, and they're calling out your name.
Isn't he wonderful? Jacob Rice. Follow him everywhere you can find his music. I just think his voice is just fantastic, and I love the song. And thank you to his co-writer Pamela Lack actually reached out to me and said, "You've got to hear this guy's music." And she said, "I'm one of his co-writers, but he writes lots of songs and he writes with lots of different people. You just got to hear his voice. You got to hear him." And she was right. So thank you, Pamela Lackey. You might know someone who doesn't know about this Songs of Love contest. Reach out to them. We're open to all genres too. So that's the other thing. It's not just country. We are Music City, and music is not labeled one genre. Speaking of, we've got a show that we've spun off called Music on Main Street. Our first was Chris Hillman from the Flying Burrito Brothers, the Byrds, and Desert Rose Band, of course, his own solo career. And you can find that. And coming up, we're going to have an interview with John Waite, Missing You, and all those great songs that made you want to break up in a really strong, dramatic way. That was what powerful music. We're going to be talking with him as well. So stay tuned and hope that you will subscribe to Main Street today. We love having you. And with that, we close with be safe, be kind, and remember, you are loved.